But now the biggest conspiracy, which is actually interesting because if you look on the Karate Combat's Instagram, as you can see I pulled up here, they actually deleted this post, but I took a screen grab of it that I'm about to show you guys now. One Championship was the type of organization that I thought would really rival the UFC and become just as big, if not bigger, worldwide. So seeing the drama that has been circulating around One Championship the past few days, I'm actually pretty surprised. We were first notified of this back when Sage Northcutt got did dirty. I talked about it in this video right here, but to briefly go over what happened was Sage Northcutt was notified very last minute that they were only going to allow one coach in his corner, and they were telling him that his coaches can show up to the event and watch him fight, but they'll have to be in the crowd and they won't be allowed in his corner. Which, cool, I get it if you're in another country and they only allow a certain amount of cornermen, cool, but you need to let him know that ahead of time. You can't tell him last minute after he flew everyone out there. But you know, basically I chopped it up in my head as maybe it was just a big misunderstanding. But a lot more has come out this past weekend, and it's got me really thinking maybe it wasn't a misunderstanding at all, and maybe the organization just treats certain fighters more poorly than others. What kicked things off was the drama circulating Mikey Musumeci and his weight miss at One Championship 168. Mikey was originally scheduled to face Cade Ruotolo, one of the Ruotolo brothers, which are huge names in the jiu-jitsu world. They were supposed to face each other in a super fight grappling match at 170 pounds, and just a few days away from the fight, Ruotolo had to pull out due to an injury. And One Championship for some reason decides to do the unthinkable. Instead of Mikey facing someone else at 170 pounds, or maybe even pushing back the match to another date, they tell Mikey Musumeci he must go all the way back down to 135 pounds, but this time face Bebeto Oliveira. They're not encouraging him to do this, they are telling him he must do this or he will be stripped of his title if he does not go from 170 pounds all the way down to 135 pounds in just a few days. In just 72 hours, Mikey Musumeci attempts to make this 135 pound weight class, which in my personal opinion, I would have put up a middle finger to them and said, hell no, I wouldn't have even tried that, because cutting that much weight in that short amount of time, there's so many medical issues that can go wrong. But Mikey, just being the guy that he is just willing to oblige and do it. Or at least try, and he got close, but he didn't make it. He ends up missing weight. And of course, because of this massive strain on his body, he failed rehydration tests, which made him unable to compete anyways. So let's get this straight. You made this guy cut all this weight, put his body in so much danger, and stripped him of the title, mind you. They still stripped him of that freaking title. And then he just couldn't compete anyways because he failed the medical exams, which you should have been expecting, trying to force a guy to cut that much weight in such a short period of time. It just baffles me who was in charge of this situation, because say that he did make weight and they did let him go out there and compete, he'd probably be a shell of himself. How can you expect a guy to compete at the top level of grappling or a top level of anything when he's going on a scale looking like this? And of course, the fan base is absolutely outraged that One Championship would even force him to do this and then strip him of the belt, like as if any of this was his fault. And just when you thought things couldn't get any worse, for some reason, the president of the Karate Combat has been going in on One Championship and calling it the war on one. He hopped on a podcast with Michael Bisping and he was not afraid to pull any punches, and he let everyone know the type of stuff that goes on behind One Championship.
I think it's time that someone speaks out and ends this dictatorship that's over there. Let's start from the start. We threw an event in April in Dubai. In our co-main event, we decided to do an ancient type of fight where it was karate versus Muay Thai. The captain of Muay Thai was Y2K Fairtex. Now, what happened is about 7 days before the fight, we get news from Fairtex Gym that Chatri threatened them and said, hey, if you allow your fighter to fight for Karate Combat, we're gonna pull all opportunities from your gym. So I said, you know what? It's enough. You can screw over investors, not my problem. You screwed over me, it's okay, no problem, I'll move on. But now you're screwing with fighters' careers in their prime, and you know there's a short amount of time fighters have to be successful. So I said, that's it. We're gonna go to your hometown in Singapore and chop off One Championship's head. So I'm throwing an event September 18th in Singapore to throw the greatest event I possibly can and provide opportunities to former One Championship fighters, to Asian fighters, and to really show them, like, guys, you had this, in my opinion, dictatorship keeping you guys down. Well, I'm here to provide opportunities for you guys so you guys don't have to be locked down by what I feel is a dictatorship.
I mean, if what the guy is saying is true, he's not wrong. It does sound a bit like a dictatorship and like they're really trying to control not only the fighters, but the companies associated with these fighters, they're trying to control everything instead of just letting the fighters go fight wherever the hell they want to fight. They've also made a couple more posts, including this fighter right here, who apparently has some dirt on One Championship, and he's requesting that someone should give him an interview so he can have the opportunity to let everyone know his past experiences and current situation with One Championship, as well as another fighter who apparently people were asking him why he isn't fighting, why he hasn't fought in over a year. And he says it's not up to him, it's One Championship who actually haven't been giving him a match. And he's been asking them, why isn't he fighting? Why don't they give him a match? And for some reason, I guess they just haven't been setting him up or haven't been looking for an opponent for him. I don't know. But now the biggest conspiracy, which is actually interesting because if you look on the Karate Combat's Instagram, as you can see, I pulled up here, they actually deleted this post, but I took a screen grab of it and I'm about to show you guys now. See, sometimes your boy just gets on top of things a little bit. I had a feeling that maybe this might get deleted if it weren't true or if it maybe caused too much controversy, but it was this post right here. Apparently there was something back in the day that was posted that talking about doctors exposing flaws in One Championship hydration testing and admitting to helping big names cheat weigh-ins. And you might be asking, why the hell is this even important? You know, this post is over a year old, but it's actually important because it shows that they have favoritism towards certain fighters, which don't get me wrong, Dana White has been completely sucking off John Jones for however long now. It's okay to have favoritism towards certain fighters, but when you actually show it and you do things to help those fighters out and give them an advantage over somebody else, that's where things get taken too far. And maybe they don't dislike fighters such as Mikey Musumeci and Sage Northcutt, but what I will say is that there could be a possibility that they care less, which makes them more inclined to screw them over and try to just sweep it under the rug. But at the end of the day, like I said, they deleted the post, so maybe it's not true. But to be honest, knowing the history of Pride over there with them rigging and fixing matches, and now with all this other stuff coming out these past few days, I really wouldn't pass them and I wouldn't be surprised if it were true. But like I said, this is just conspiracy, this is just speculation. And look, I'm certainly no One Championship hater. I watch their One Friday fights every single Friday. I still think One Championship will be massive and a huge success, but it might be safe to say that they've lost a fair amount of fan base over on the American side. So it'll be interesting to see if maybe some big names start dropping out of One Championship and going somewhere else, or if there might be some other negative effects that might impact the organization moving forward. Feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. As always, I thank you all so much for the support, and I'll catch you in the next video.